Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Top 3 Multifamily Must-Haves. The topic is reputation management. And I have to say, I even have on my circus earrings today to work through the chaos as we talk about reputation management. My name is Stephanie Anderson, Senior Director of Communications and Social Media right here at Grace Hill. I have actually been serving the apartment industry for the past 18 years, and I have a really cool and unique perspective, a 360 perspective, in fact, that shows my views from all angles of the industry. I have served on both your side as an operator, a nonprofit association manager, and now for the past 3.5 years as a supplier partner working for Grace Hill. But why am I here to talk about reputation management? I actually handle all of our social media accounts and all of our online reputation for our brand. So I am going to couple my experience today with Jay's intense knowledge, along with what we know about our amazing product to deliver it to you on a silver platter with how great of a product this is. So it is actually my honor to introduce my co-pilot for today's wild ride, Jay Thompson, Senior Sales Engineer. Jay, having served on both a regional property manager position for a national brand and an account manager for Grace Hill Strategic Accounts, Jay knows what it takes to elevate property performance and reduce operating risk in multifamily. He now leads a team of multifamily sales engineers that focus on delivering the impact of Grace Hill's suite of solutions. Jay, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Excited to talk about the topic. It's an all-important one.
Me too.
All right. So as we dive in, Stephanie, I think there's some great facts there on the screen, right? That 79% of prospects make their leasing decision based on ratings and reviews. And I don't think that comes as a shock to any of us. In today's world, we are certainly a review-driven community, right? I think about that last Amazon purchase that I made. I read the reviews 100%. And then when you look at that other stat, that 47% of renters expect management to respond not just to the good, not just to the bad, but to all online reviews. As we were preparing for this, Stephanie, I was thinking of actually kind of a personal story that's going on right now. I'm going to a wedding next month, and so I'm looking at some vacation rentals. And so I've been on the website, I've been looking at different properties and really looking at the reviews, right? So 100% review driven. Let's see what it looks like. I mean, let's be honest, it's hard to rationalize staying at a one-star property. But I will tell you, even more meaningful is within that review set, I've really honed into the ones where the owner or the management has responded to somebody who maybe had a less than when it came to their expectation. Because let's be honest, we're all human. Things do happen. So not only did I want it to be a property that obviously there was some pride in, but also what was going to be the response if and when something didn't really go the same way. Or the way that I thought that it should. So, although that is obviously the vacation rental, sector, it's not a far jump into rental housing as well from there. And that's why we believe that it is crucial that multifamily maintain a positive brand reputation and really stay on top of your reviews.
I love that story. In fact, you mentioned about being human. And I have to point this out here that we are all human and we cannot do it all. So the best practice is that we should be responding to every review. But on-site teams, all their tasks they have going on, they truly don't have time for all of that. It is impossible to respond to every single thing, plus do your day job, plus enhance the customer experience that we all know is expected nowadays. So how are we doing all of this and we don't have a proactive reputation management strategy? We're then leaving money on the table. Leases aren't getting done. And how do we do it all, Jay?
Hey man, it kind of reminds me of those earrings. It is a little bit of a circus on site, right? So how do we give the tools to help really kind of tame that circus?
I love that. And I think we should dive right into talking about these 3 must-haves for reputation management. You really need to maintain an active and consistent online presence by replying on all relevant platforms. So having that active online presence is truly like keeping the doors of your business open, but in a digital world. It's about being where your residents and prospects are on social media, but also on review sites and rental listing websites. That can be overwhelming in and of itself. So, as someone who has been in the property management industry for a long time, I can attest to knowing how important social media is in shaping that public perception, but also influencing brand reputation, which is so critical nowadays. When you're regularly posting on social media, you're engaging with comments and responding to reviews, you're truly showing that you're attentive and approachable to your audience. It is going to build that trust and credibility that you must have within our industry.
Amen. Could not agree more. So I'd love if we could for a moment then, Stephanie, kind of pivot into our reputation management
Let's do
solution.
it.
And let's talk a little bit about that, right? Because, again, you brought up I had some flashbacks when you talked about the chaos that is sometimes property management. We've both been on that side of the ball game. I remember those days coming up as a leasing agent, the phone ringing off the hook and the work order in front of you and the prospect that just walked in through the door. So it is. So how do we give you efficiency to respond to those without necessarily increasing your headcount, which, let's be honest, in today's market may not be a reality right now. So how can we give you efficiency to really run with the tools and the talent that you have today? So when we first get in here, we're really talking about that classic online reputation management tool. This is a centralized repository where all of your reviews come in, right? So, and you'll notice we're going to pull from major review sites. We're also looking at some secondary and tertiary that you're also going to see in there. But we do know Google and Facebook continue to be major drivers when it's reviews. So obviously we're aggregating ratings and reviews across Google, Yelp, Facebook, Apartment Guide, Apartment Ratings, even Community Rewards, Rent.com as well. There's filtering throughout. And that filtering is really meant to make your job easier. So let's say I'm a community manager and I know I need to respond to reviews, right? All reviews, as you pointed out, but maybe I've only got 15 minutes today. So today, I really just am going to focus on Google. And I'm going to focus on, excuse me here, on my 4 and 5-star reviews. Because, again, those are the ones that usually sometimes don't take as much, of that meaningful thought behind it. How are we going to respond? So today I'm really going to look at 4 and 5. You'll notice I can come in here. We have templates. You can have an unlimited number of templates in here. They do have embed codes. So the ability, again, to really personalize that response. We've also maybe got writer's block. We've also got this AI generator. You can come in here. Maybe I'm not too thrilled with this one, so I'll hit that again. I'll get a different response. I can also come in here and add additional context. But again, in busy times, since this is our 4 and 5-star reviews, maybe we just respond with our bulk responder here. So again, I would really recommend, I think you would agree with me, that you really use bulk responding for 4 and 5-star reviews. Your 3s and belows really kind of need some individual attention in terms of that. But for 4 and 5, come in here, select the ones you want. You can even select, as many templates as you want. And then I can come in here and publish. And the good news is, we're going to carousel through those templates, right? So the last thing that anybody wants to see is the same canned response to every review. So let's make sure that we're also cycling through those different responses as well. One more thing that I'll show to you here, because it's just kind of near and dear to my heart, and I'm jumping ahead just a little bit, but when we talk about the ROI on this, I do love the fact that we feature a filter here that is with revisions. And that allows you to see the meaningful impact that your reputation management strategy is having on your clientele, on your online presence. So for example, here, let me find one. This one you'll notice has an increase. So I'm able to see this move from a 1 to a 3-star. We'll talk a little bit later about just how 1-star increase can translate to your revenue. But for me, that's a meaningful story to go back and sing not only to your on-site teams, to your leadership about the work that online reputation management does for your bottom line. And then finally, I want to go over to social. And again, I know this is a near and dear area of your heart, Stephanie, but when we'd be remiss if we didn't talk, right, about the fact that social media is a huge part of your online presence. So you do have the ability to create posts to social, to Google. So let's say, for example, that I want to, post to Instagram and Facebook. I can select my properties, quickly get in here, add my own messages and images, even use an AI generator again, tell me get those creative juices flowing. And I will tell you what I love about this, Stephanie, and something you and I have talked about in the past, is really just about that authentic, meaningful type of content.
Yes.
Because you want, as we're going to talk about later, you want interaction, right? So you want to make sure that really the message that you're sending is tailored. I remember I had a community in a downtown location. It was absolutely imperative that our content really spoke to the community that we were in. It was such a force to live locally in that community that our social media really had to be geared to that. So obviously we love that feature as well. There's a lot more features in here for social media, like the ability to see all of your repost and even respond to those as well. So, features like that, Stephanie, really address the pain of having to spend an enormous amount of time going to different websites, responding to potentially hundreds of reviews, even getting down to aggregation and, managing social media across multiple platforms. So really excited. And I'd be remiss if one thing else I don't talk about is we do have alerts and workflows for all of this. So again, when you said those teams are busy, they absolutely are. Sometimes they can't live in this platform every day. So let's deliver them a notification that, hey, you have a new review, or hey, you have a new task. So they can do their day-to-day ops, but then they know when they need to create time to go in and do the rest of this.
Okay, wow. There is so much to unpack here, and I get more and more excited every time we talk about this platform because of the ability of what it can do. And I'll tell you, while we're limited on time today, I would love to really explore in the future different opportunities for us to relook at ways to engage your team to get them more excited. Immediately when you're talking about the change in reviews and filtering that and how you've increased star ratings, how incredible to be able to talk to your teams about when they're doing that, how we could focus more on that for a bonus program versus, oh, if you get, 45-star reviews, we want authentic reviews, and nothing, Jay, is more authentic than what you just showed.
Amen. I love that.
Incredible. So, people want to be heard and seen, and what better way than to respond to all the reviews using a sophisticated system like our reputation management program. And that takes us to must have number 2. You need a way to stay ahead of trends and be proactive in your strategy. I will tell you what we know today is probably different than yesterday, and it's certainly going to be irrelevant in the future. So we have to stay ahead of things. And you already touched on AI. That is the buzzword everybody wants to talk about. So of course, we have to make sure that what we are providing to our customers is a way to really get ahead. So imagine trying to learn about your customers by reading every single one of their reviews. You can. I mean, you could look at Google, Yelp, social media, all the things. It would take you forever. And the most or hardest part about that is, how do you even get a big picture from that?
Mhm.
It would pretty much be impossible. So AI can actually analyze the sentiment of those reviews in seconds, Jay.
I mean, if we talk about efficiency, there's the big one there. Yeah, let's drop back into the platform here and talk a little bit more just about what you were alluding to. So again, as you said, there's no more guessing. And I will tell you, I don't know about you, but I've been in this business long enough that I have had to go to the individual review sites and try to, correlate data and make meaningful, decisions based off it. And the fact is, sometimes it was guessing because you couldn't get to all of it, right? Guessing what, residents loved and didn't love about your property. So really, we want to help those property managers proactively stay informed about conversations, trends, the sentiments. So a couple of the things that I would say when we're talking about proactive strategy, I am going to go back into the reputation tab because for me, this is a clear differentiator for us. We are pulling in 5 competitors for every one of your location. Here's the good news. You have full control over that comp set. So if we pull in one just because it's geographically close, but maybe it doesn't match your asset type, you can swap that out. But the fact that you're able to come in and see how you're doing against that competitor set, but I can actually even drill down to individual competitors, looking for competitive advantages, across my assets. So I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about that. But as you kind of stated early on, AI is the buzzword, and it has definitely been a game changer. So let's talk about just what some of those signals and AI means for us. Immediately on our snapshot, we tell you big picture about your company. What are your customer likes? What are their dislikes, right? Here's where I truly believe, Stephanie, reputation management becomes a total asset management strategy. My likes, I'm probably going to funnel to you as marketing and go, can we herald these, right? Can we really push it out? My dislikes, I may be getting with an asset manager going, let's talk about CapEx spend, or what does a value add project look like? Or maybe I'm getting with L&D and going, hey, here's a gap that we're seeing across our organization. Maybe it's customer service, that type of deal. How do we fill in those gaps with our other solutions? And then let's look specifically at our Pulse AI, right? So first I'm going to look at sentiment, then we'll come back to signals here and things like that in a minute. So with Pulse AI, let me get a little bit more data in here. We are scanning every one of your reviews for a positive, negative, or neutral sentiment. As a result, we can really pull out some major themes. So for example, and I'm at a company level here, I can always come down into an individual level, but we're noticed that, management is a negative topic for me. Now, one of the ways that I love to click in even more is let's look at what we call our Pulse Explorer. So again, let's talk about, I'm going to take a different avenue. Right now, property is neutral. So it's got some good and some bad. I want to know what comprises that. If I come in here and start interacting with this wheel, I begin to peel back the layers of what, really talks about that property experience. So some of the things I'm seeing is the office, the facility, the community are all positives. But what about this unit? I know we don't use the word unit to your residents, but what is it exactly about that? Now I can get in here and really begin to see what is comprising that. And again, what I love is, I'm a former teacher. Differentiated instruction is a thing. So you're going to be able to look at your company, but I can also look by asset, by region, because I guarantee you one size doesn't always fit all. There's meaningful changes that have to occur at each different level. And then, of course, let's talk a little bit about signals. So I will tell you, I went ahead and pre-populated this in, but I asked, what do customers say about my leasing staff? And because we're scanning all of this, our AI tool is able to come in and say, hey, there's some mixed reviews. Now, maybe Elisa here on my team, she's about to get a shout out, right? She's really making some positive inroads in our communities. But also then I'm able to see maybe what the not so positives are. We will call out also each one of those locations that it comes into. So this is a great way, Stephanie, when you mentioned KPI, this to me was one of the first things I thought of. Maybe we're going, what do people say about maintenance? What do they say about customer service? What do they say about our resident events? Maybe these are all different components of that resident experience that you're really beginning to monitor. So again, now you've got ways to make fast and meaningful decisions. And to your point, without having to sift through hundreds or thousands of reviews to begin to pull out those details as well.
Wow, that is so important. I just want to dig deeper and deeper into this every time you mention more about it, because our ability to really stay ahead of these market trends, but also understanding the resident preferences, continuously improving the service quality and resident satisfaction are absolutely key here. So let's transition into our third must have. You need a way to measure and improve your reputation and not just monitor it, because a lot of people look at reputation management as a set and forget. This is not a George Foreman grill. We have got to pay attention. So, without a realistic picture of your competitor's performance, how can you truly know where your property stands?
Great point. I will tell you, for me, Stephanie, I mean, let's be honest. Reputation management encompasses a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's meant to move your bottom line. It's meant to make you better, right? So again, as we dive back into the platform, Let's talk about some of those things as well. So here at Grace Hill, we believe that we should bring this information and data together. So we're going to provide you insights, recommended actions to help you understand the health of your reputation, of your company, even help you establish action plans. Again, around that resident satisfaction, retention, lease conversions. So, couple things. Let's go back to social. Again, I know this one's near and dear to yours. So as we look at social, you can begin, again, because of this listening tool, you can begin to see things like your brand mentioned as well. You can also dig into performance metrics. You can see what the engagement rates are. When I'm back here at a high level, even if we get to provider breakdown, I can quickly see how my page is growing, what that engagement, what does the impression look like? Even my top performing post, right? Even all the way down to hashtag metrics. I know, Stephanie, you're the queen of hashtags, and
Yes.
I will tell you, I'm not, right? But there's a definitive science around hashtags. What makes a good hashtag? What drives? And here you're able to kind of look at those reports, make really meaningful decisions. Again, this spans the scope of your company. In addition, let's talk quickly about our reports. So we do have a myriad of reports. Again, we talked about some that I can deliver to your teams real time. I can also, give you weekly, monthly, etc. This is probably my favorite though. You talked about those all important KPIs. Come in here, create a report of your own full of graphs. This is great for investors. If you're a third-party manager and you need to report back to ownership, but you can come in here, you can develop it, you can even schedule this out for distribution on your own, and you can begin to see all the different metrics that you really want to look at here. But one thing I do want to end with here, there's a lot, and Stephanie, to your point, I do get excited and I wish we had more time because I literally think we're just beginning to scratch the surface, right, of what a full reputation management looks like. But let's talk about LBV. So LBV stands for local brand visibility for us. For us, this is the benchmark to hold your other assets accountable to, and also just to see how you're doing. If I'm being really honest, Stephanie, there are a lot of scores out there. Multifamily loves its scores, right? We give a score to a lot of things. I truly believe that if you don't know how to affect the score or what makes up that score, you simply have a number. You have to know how I can move the needle, right? If I got a score, but I'm like, I don't know if I pull this lever or this lever to make it better, I'm just spinning my wheels. Our local brand visibility, we tell you exactly how to do that. It's comprised of reviews. How many do you have? How many are you responding to? Social, are you engaging? Is it meaningful engagement? How accurate are your listings? We're not even talking about that really in this, webinar, but how accurate is that? Is your Google My Business page interacting with? Are there errors there? And again, that competitor set, how are you comparing against them? So if this was my organization and I'm trying to get that LBV score to go up, whether I'm at a company level or at an individual level, right now, social is going to come front and center, right? I'm going to go find me a Stephanie Anderson or somebody who's already on my team and go, I got to drive it. Because right now, social is beginning to bring down our local brand visibility and how that's overall impacting our reputation.
Wow. To be able to drill down to that level, to really find that pain point specifically to overcome it and create or update your strategy in place, that is going to do tremendous things for your communities and your overall company's branding
Yeah.
together. So wow, this has been so great. So let's think about these again. Let's reiterate these three must-haves that are so important. We talked about you need to maintain an active and consistent online presence. That really included replying to all the reviews, regardless of the platforms, as long as they're relevant. You need a way to stay ahead of trends and be proactive in your strategy. This is one that oftentimes is missed. And then three, you need a way to measure and improve your reputation, not just monitor it.
Absolutely. So, I'm a data guy and we've both been on that side. There has to be an ROI to this. And I think we've talked about the compelling reasons, But let's talk just about a couple other meaningful ones that we have noticed as well. So using our tool, we've seen a 50% increase in page one appearances, and that's on your Google, right? Again, we didn't really go in to depth of kind of that metric, but I'll be honest, when Stephanie Anderson is in Tampa, Florida, where I'm located, and puts apartments near me, I want your assets to show up at the top of that list. And this tool helps with that. You know, the 16% increase in total reviews, and then a 24% increase in 5-star reviews. I read a really meaningful stat. You know, when we looked at that one that went from a 1-star to a 3-star, I read a stat that for every 1-star rating increase, there's a 4 to 5% conversion rate increase. That conversion rate in multifamily directly translates into revenue. So some really meaningful stats around that. So again, we know how important reputation management is. Negative reviews can pile up without a response. Those ultimately, you know, can hurt your reputation and drive prospects away. So staying on top of reviews, monitoring, and management is crucial, not only for maintaining that positive reputation, but for fostering resident loyalty as well. So with that said, Stephanie, thank you so much for allowing me to join you with this. It's been a great discussion. We really believe that we have the tool to help you manage it all. So I would encourage anyone here that's listening, we'd love to have a further conversation about this. You can visit our website or contact Grace Hill for more information.
Thanks so much, Jay. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you all.